everybody, my name is Infinite Gamer, and today we are taking a look at Dandelion. Deltarune Chapter 1. We start with this guy who has really bad cell reception, but he asks us to make a character, and may I just say that this is the most ugly looking avatar I have ever created. I name him Buttface, and then he gets deleted. Thank God, that guy looked horrible. My mom wakes us up for school, and I just straight up walk out of my bed. Like, look at this! I find out that we have a mirror in our house, and I take a long look at myself and proceed to... We get in the car, and as some fan service goes by, we make it to school and find out that we're late. But doesn't our mom work here? Is she late too? Anyway, we have to find a partner for our school project. Unfortunately, everyone is taken, but this gold duck tries to do a troll face impression after telling me I'm basically stupid. So I take a pencil and I stab him. That's when Susie busts down the door.
Hey, Vsauce!
And we find out that the chalk is missing. So Alphys instructs us to go with Susie to find more chalk in the supply closet. When we walk out of the classroom, we find out that Susie's the one who's been eating all the chalk, and she threatens to, how do I put this? Eat off our face if we were to tell anyone. After finding out that this is a horror game, we continued into the closet. It's really dark in there, and we can't see anything, so Susie starts looking for a light switch. After not being able to find it, Susie and I both agree that it's time to dip. Then some psycho locks the closet door on us. The floor starts shaking, and we both fall to our deaths. So I wake up in what seems to be purgatory, with this sick-looking armor. And for some reason, I try to find Susie. I mean, she did try to eat off our face and everything, so I'm not sure why I'm trying to look for her. But anyway, I use my sick gamer skills to solve this puzzle, and I end up finding her in a bundle of white powder. Susie, what are you doing in this white powder? She decides to follow us until she doesn't, and runs ahead on the pathway. We meet back up with her when out of nowhere this pinhead-looking thing tries to attack us. I almost get hit a couple of times, but make it out of there just fine. Also, we get to go down a slide. Whee! After that, we make our way to this abandoned town, where there is a castle. I decide to go into the castle, and Susie is thinking the exact same thing that I'm thinking. We get to meet Luke Skywalker. Oh, hey man, you need to help us fight the Empire. Oh, and he's gone. But Pinhead is back, so Susie and I just kind of, beat him up until he runs away like a nerd. We find out that Luke's real name is Rolsey, and Susie is so upset at this retcon that she pieces out, so Rolsey and I have to go find her. We run into Rolsey's training dummy, and I take a long look at it, and then I take a look at Rolsey, and I tell Rolsey that he's a dummy, which absolutely breaks his heart. We wander around a bit until we find the spinning top, who is really upset that his cake has been eaten by this purple dino. That's when it hits me. Susie isn't a purple lizard like I thought she was. She's secretly Barney. So I rush off to go ask her if this is true. But then I'm stopped by Lancer and his friends who look like they would actually eat babies. And I'm not kidding when I say this. This is probably the most difficult fight in this entire game to stay awake to. I just stand there and attack these guys, and even Rolsey is like, dude, you're an idiot. I find a puzzle that I struggle with for a while and then realize that I need 3 people to complete it. So I walk around trying to look for Susie, and I find her standing in front of this door. I ask her if she's secretly Barney, and she just stares at me for a long while, and then just joins our party with a really cool line of dialogue. So we finish that puzzle and open the door, and we're greeted with this little checker piece dog thingy. I warn it that Barney is a killing machine, so it runs off. We go through the door and are greeted by this jigsaw puzzle piece who tries to sell me a tutorial for like $50. I refuse, and then he panics and lowers the price from $50 to $20. I'm still thinking that's too pricey. I refuse again, and that's when he loses all his marbles and gives me an offer that I can really get behind. So I buy the tutorial off of him for $1. Frickin' nerd. We meet back up with Lancer again, And Susie calls him a Santa Claus and teaches him how to be more scary, which was sweet. He runs off, but it doesn't take long for us to catch up. It doesn't take us long to find him again on this weird checkerboard looking place. After realizing we don't have a team, Lancer uses his super bucket to help us pick a team name. I get to choose what piece of paper I want to read, so I choose really carefully with the most precise button press. We get the team name Lancer's Fan Club, and we finish walking down the checkered pathway. I find the little checker dog and wait, what is that? Oh my god! And now we have to fight the little checker dog. I mean, well, I guess he isn't little anymore. But anyway, I figure out that if we bow to him, that he will shake his head harder than a rock star, which will make the crown fall off. After getting him to do that a couple times, it falls off and he returns to being the cute little dog he was. He rock and rolls away. I know, great pun right there. But since Susie tried to kill this cute little life form, I get her kicked off the team, and she joins up with Lancer. After a while wandering and Ralsei getting hit by this hammer, we help Susie and Lancer build their thrashing machine. I like to call it the IG cannon. It's beautiful. I then make my way through the maze forest, and after we get out of there, I get to see my beautiful creation. It's finally finished. It's finally built. I pull off the sheet and, yeah, I agree, Ralsei. Susie starts feeling homesick and says that if we can beat her and Lancer in a fight, that she will rejoin the team. Let's just say I'm not the one who's getting thrashed here. I'm about to hit Lancer with the final blow, and that's when Susie calls it quits and rejoins the team. Lancer, now feeling a little left out, also joins the team. We take a nice walk down this pathway and make it to a clearing where we see the castle. And Susie starts talking about, just murdering Lancer's dad right in front of him. So he gets kind of upset and runs away. Big shocker there. We follow him until we get to the front doors of the castle, where we're cornered by guards and thrown in jail. I try to escape, but after eating some moss, I tell Ralsei that there's no way out and that we're gonna die here. He gets all sappy with me, and that's when we hear Susie from another room yelling to tell Ralsei to shut up, like the good friend she is. Anyway, she tells us that she got out of her cell by throwing a guy in the trash can. We help her solve a puzzle, and she starts making her way to our cell to unlock it. On her way, though, she runs into Lancer, and after finding out that he had us locked away, Susie kind of gets really mad and tries to kill him in the most depressing battle in this entire chapter. Lancer then explains that he doesn't want his dad or Susie to get hurt, and that's why he locked us up. After hearing this, Susie decides to spare him and make a promise not to kill his dad. She unlocks our cell and we start making our way up the tower. We beat up some bad guys and meet this dude who's apparently really good at puzzles. Like, his puzzles are super hard to beat. Like, let me just give you a couple examples. We have to push a box over once. Or that other really hard one where we have to push the box twice. Yeah, he's not very good at puzzles. So we just continue making our way until we get to the final floor of the tower. But this puzzle guy, I don't know his name, tries to stop us one last time by reuniting us with an old friend, little checkered dog. But now he has a mind-controlled crown on. And it's like really sticky or something because we can't get it off his head. So with no idea how we're going to knock it off, Susie comes up with a really good plan. She picks up Ralsei and just chucks Ralsei right at it until the crown falls off. Now that we got past the little checkered dog, we're on the roof of the tower. There's only one thing left to do. We have to knock out the king. So, the fight starts. Chris and Azriel go down a couple of times. At least, that's what I have written in my script. But I really mean Ralsei. But Susie comes in clutch and tires the king out just enough for him to admit defeat. We try to convince him to become our friend and stop fighting. So he agrees, and Ralsei decides to heal his wounds. Therefore, he does not die. He stands up, and he hits us all with spades. We try to stand up, but before we can, he hits us with more. And I go flying from the battlefield. He walks over and he picks me up. Just before he's about to kill me with an attack, Susie comes in and saves me. He starts to challenge him. Susie tries to distract him long enough so Ralsei could put him to sleep. And after that works out successfully, we hear from Lancer that the guards are trying to bust down the door. With little time, we have to say goodbye to both Lancer and Ralsei, who does a face reveal that any YouTuber would be proud of. Susie and I make our way to the fountain. Then, when our soul connects to it, we are able to leave the dark world. We wake up in an abandoned classroom. Now that the entire day has gone by and everyone at the school has left for home, Susie and I decided to do the same and part ways. But not before Susie asks for us to go back there tomorrow. As I walk home, I ask myself what had just happened. Was it real? Was it a fantasy? Did I have something to do with what the king was saying? Saying that I have left them all in the dark and abandoned them? Will I even be able to return there tomorrow? You could say that this is just one chapter in a long story. I make it back home and go to sleep in hope that I will wake to adventure tomorrow.
Bye bye.